What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Flashpicks.bet show. It's your boys, Matty, Chucks, and Austin's Props back again with honestly another horrible Thursday night football game. But we're going to give you what we like and the lay of the land. If you're enjoying, I don't know what time it is where you guys are, but maybe you're at the end of your work shift, etc. But it's Thursday night. Austin, how you feeling today?
I'm good, brother. Just wanted to let you know real quick that we're not live off your Twitter yet. Not sure. Usually we are. That's usually what I quote. But other than that, about to get this up. A little technical difficulties here, but I'm excited, man. I think this will be a better game than people are giving credit to. Not sure it will be a high scoring, but I do think it stays relatively competitive. And I'm interested. You know how these divisional games go on primetime. They're usually mucked. They're usually close one-score games that come down to the fourth quarter, which is good football for us, obviously. But other than that, I'm excited to see where your props are. We haven't talked a ton on where you're targeting or where I'm targeting, so interested to see that. Other than that, vibes are there.
Yeah, no, this guy said nuts on table, sweating Russell Wilson under 12.5 all four quarters. Under 12.5 what? I don't know. What do you think about the snow? Honestly, this is the main question that everyone's going to ask, right? Are these props ridiculously low? Is there an overreaction from the books? Now, it's tough to say because usually you have to be under the assumption that the books most of the time know what they're doing. And it seems like they probably get a weather report and they see past games with the similar weather and probably adjust according to. I don't know. I feel like if you think that this game is not going to be as bad as it says it is, you should be going over galore and just really taking advantage. If you're worrisome and you're skeptical, obviously take a back seat. I think the Steelers win this game. I think this game is only 3.5 because it's divisional, but Mike Tomlin, primetime, short week. I like Kevin Stefanski, but I like Tomlin better. And I think that the Steelers are just a better team. They're playing for more. They are off a big win. And this is a tough short week game here. So I do get the close spread because the under's in play. Usually when you think of an under, you think it's going to be a close spread as well. So I don't know what I like too much yet, but I know I'm on Russell Wilson under interceptions. Only one quarterback has thrown an interception versus the Browns this season, and that's Jaden Daniels. And I watched it. It was a 3rd and goal, forced throw. It was like 3rd and 6 maybe. And he just forced it into the zone coverage, and they just clean took it. I don't think Russell Wilson makes those same mistakes. I also think this game is very ground heavy, which leads to less attempts and also just more clock just ticking off. You know what I mean? Just more time taken away. And the Browns people did catch me on my lie in my tweet. They did pick off Taysom Hill last week on 2 attempts. So I'm not counting that. I'm counting quarterbacks, not forced weird
not
plays.
tight ends.
Yeah, so and every non-rookie quarterback has not thrown a pick versus the Browns. I do think that they are winning this game, and if he's not forced to throw late, I think the soar's under. So that's one of my favorite plays today. It's obviously pretty ugly as an under, and you got to wait for the whole game for it to happen. But one of my favorite spots there. What is your overall feel of this game? What's your favorite prop?
Yeah, I think it stays within one score, like you said. Obviously, books say that, so it's not against the grain. But for me, both these rosters have a lot of talent where I would not be surprised to see them score 37 points. I see every sharp on Twitter, on social media, every sharp is hammering this under. Obviously, I'm not going to go against the grain and make an official play for the over, but I will say it's enticing for me to dabble maybe the over here, 36.5. That's just such a low game. I probably won't bet it. I'll probably just sit put and sit with the props. But I guess if I'm playing it, I would probably say this game's going to be around 41 points. I get why it's under 36.5, but when too many people are on a prop and too many people are hammering a certain way and Vegas doesn't move, it tends to show that they think it's going to be quite close. You know what I mean? So yeah. I kind of lean that, especially if the weather isn't as bad as what people are saying. Like Jameis Winston will sling that rock. They've shown in garbage time when they're down 21 that they're going to keep taking deep shots to Tillman and Moore and all those guys. So I think there's a lot of ways that one can go over. But, yeah, I guess I don't really lean a certain over under there. But prop-wise, my favorite prop today, I'm hammering Najee Harris, 16.5 rush attempts or 17.5. You can get both. I love both. 18 plus carries in all 4 games with Russ Wilson at QB. 18 plus carries in 7 of 10 games this season. Off a short week, I know there's slight concern there. Jaylen Warren also getting comfortable and getting healthy. But like you and I said, we think the Steelers team's going to run it 35 times today. Like, they're going to control the clock. Arthur Smith wants to control the clock. If we get a lead, I think it's almost a guarantee that these guys are going to run the ball. Obviously, if people get hurt, that can happen. But if this team builds a lead against the Browns, who struggle to run the ball, Pittsburgh's elite at stopping the ball, I think we see Pittsburgh just dominate time of possession here, as the Browns are really going to be forced to pass. They might struggle to move the football here. So I just think the Steelers team has an easy way to control the clock if they utilize the run. Maybe they sprinkle some play action to Pickens, but that's how I would attack this game.
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying on the Najee Harris under rush attempts. I really just don't understand that, because they're using the line of a run heavy team and a run attempt heavy running back. I mean, I think only Saquon's hit that number, but there's 2 teams that run the ball the most in the entire league, and that's the Eagles and the Steelers.
Exactly.
So you have to assume they're in the same category. And you look at the attempts. Yeah, they didn't hit 18, but Alexander Madison had 5. Zamir White with 17 that same game. Zamir White's not a 16.5 carry guy.
They were probably losing the game too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Devin Singletary, 16 attempts. Like, these are not 17.5 rush attempt guys.
Spot on.
So it's
I totally agree. Spot on. And if the Browns don't run the ball effectively, both these guys, Warren and Harris, probably sail over this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pittsburgh is elite. They're one of the best teams at stopping the run in football. It's going to be tough. I bet this Browns team punts multiple times. Each time they punt, that benefits us, obviously. 4 and outs we'll take any day of the week. I don't also see this one getting ugly enough where we see Najee or Warren benched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
They're going to be out there on the short week. So I think both those spots are great looks.
I think to be run. I think they run 30 times. It could be 20 and 10. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be one of the. Russell Wilson's not going to run, in my opinion. And I think if they're winning late, if they're winning early, and Winston, what he does, they sling the rock. If you get those 3rd and 10s, those 3rd and longs, incomplete passes, that's 40 seconds not milked off the clock. Like, those add up for rush attempts, which is just huge on the other side.
What I loved about both those lines too, Chucks, is Russell Wilson has a 25.5 or 26.5 pass attempt line. Yeah. That is criminally low. You and I bet him multiple times this year, and he's been over like 30.5 usually. Obviously, this is the game script. Bookmakers think they're going to build a lead. Winston has a 34.5 pass attempt line. That should tell you right off the rip they're going to be slinging the ball because they're playing from behind. All lines to me point to both these overs being very, very solid looks. Obviously, if a guy breaks an 80-yard touchdown, that could hurt your rush attempts, but you can't bank on those, you know?
I agree. I think this game is, again, it's tough to see what the receiver look is going to be. I know you're on a receiver that I do like. And these lines are low. If you think that they can get some, like obviously Pickens' line is lower. Tillman's line's lower. We saw him at 4.5 receptions last week. He's now at 3.5. So the books are thinking it's going to be a certain way, but these lines, they could be low enough to where now it's time to take a stab. I do lean a Browns player receiving yards, if I had to say, just because of what we said about the Steelers offense. And if you think this, if you think the Browns are going to be throwing late, then you have to take advantage of these lines because they're criminally low. I mean, Elijah Moore, low 30s. I think I saw Tillman either high 30s or low 40s. I forget what it was. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And one chunk play. I mean, if again, you think that that's what it's going to be, then by means have at it. I mean, I'm staring at Chris Boswell is still at 1.5 field goals minus 180, which means they think the field goal weather is still going to be not terrible.
Right.
So, that's kind of the same process. I hear the winds are going to die down. I know it's going to be wet. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be heavy, but I'm not really sure to what extent. Like, I'm sure they could throw it 20 yards and be fine.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think it's one of those
agree.
games.
I think sometimes people overreact, and I could be dead wrong here. I don't know what the weather's totally going to be like, but I think some people instantly think the weather, you suddenly can't throw the ball. These are still NFL players. Books still got them at 200 plus yards on the like over unders for a reason. You know what I mean? They're not going to come out here and run it 400 times, but I think you're spot on with it, Chucks. For me, I targeted Eli Moore, 32.5 receiving yards. It's one of those spots where he's had 29 targets the last 3 weeks with Jameis Winston. For me, that says enough. He obviously likes him. He's peppering him with targets. And I looked, it wasn't targets when they were down in garbage time. Sure, maybe 1 or 2 were, but it wasn't like he was the main target in garbage time. He was getting high quality, impactful looks. Tillman actually got a lot of those garbage looks last week. I think he had 4 targets in the fourth quarter when like game was over and they were just trying to air it out, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's a solid look. I didn't want to target a tight end. Tillman, I think, is due for a decent game, but didn't want to go there. Obviously, Pitt has really, really solid outside corners. So that's kind of where I wanted to go. I think Jerry Jeudy, too, a lot of people are going to play because of the big week he had last week. I'm not really buying into that hype yet. I think that was just a good game against the Broncos. He happened to break one where they were out of coverage. It was a great play by him. But safety was out of position, didn't do his job. If he does his job, it's a 20-yard catch. Doesn't have that big weeks, you know? So
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's tough with these Browns because they're all getting targets. But Winston has, 34.5 passing attempts line? Completions at 19.5. That's absurd.
That's crazy.
Like, you think a 19.5 guy, I think we saw for, someone low, like 31.5, 30.5. He's going to chuck it. That's what he's going to do. So, it's just if they connect or not. I mean, you're going to get
Jalen Hurts is usually 20.5 completions, 27.5 pass attempts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the comparison there.
It's just like, and there's nothing more frustrating, I think, than watching 8 targets, only getting 3 of them. And you're just like,
that was us last week with Tillman. You and I know as well.
It was brutal. And I did this again I did it the same thing with Elijah Moore in like week 4, or I think it was the first time he had like 9 targets and he had 4 catches. He had 3. And I was like, well, you got the volume.
Yeah. And it wasn't his fault. I guess you could also say you and I are banking on some regression here. Maybe Winston starts finding it. Maybe we get a few easier completions. Obviously the weather's probably not the most easy for that. And that's why.
Is this a true stat?
That can't be real, but honestly, that's a hell of a find if that is real.
That's a crazy.
I don't even know where you would look to.
I don't know either.
Honestly.
Mr. Josh Patterson. First of all, a very generic name, so I'm not going to believe you off the bat. There's probably a million of you guys walking around these parts. Thoughts on Warren? I don't like running back receiving yards, but he said it is. Josh Patterson. I don't know who you are, but
that's a good find.
That's a great find. Just want to shout out this too, Slim Reapers, Metuchen Men's Basketball League. We are 2-1. Our boy Boogie just absolutely dog walks teams. He does talk a little too much, but Monday nights I might have to start live streaming those games every now and then.
I'd be there. That's awesome.
Wilson over 188 passing.
I was eyeing this. I'm curious to hear your opinion on this.
I think it's low. I got burned last week, but I think you run it too, actually. Yeah. But if Lamar converts a 2-point conversion, he goes over because it goes to overtime. I think that's a play that you play if you think this game is close. If you think the Steelers are going to take away with this one, be up 7-10 points most of the game, then I think you probably stay away. But if you think it's close, I think that soars. I think that's kind of where my mind is at.
I agree. I also think, though, like watching that game back, that Steelers game, there was a muffed punt that put them up where they only needed to go 25 yards. There was an offside. Yeah, there was an offsides call that backed them or that moved them forward 10 yards. So, and then there was a fumble midfield. And, those add up, obviously. The kickoff rule where they start at the 30, you get less opportunities. So, I feel like pass yards from last year prior has been more difficult to predict. So, I'm definitely just looking at my, wins and losses over the year. I'm going to be more selective when I target pass yards for quarterbacks so far.
I agree. Dude, this I don't know who I trust more. Kai 21 Savage.
Damn. calling your
I mean,
bluff.
do we know that's what the weather was, or are we just assuming it was the weather because it said it's Buffalo?
Also, has Jameis never played in college anywhere cold or anything like that? Like,
I don't know. He's been all over the place.
I guess he was in Florida, so not really.
I guess that's a true point. Yeah.
But he's in Cleveland, though. He's used to the cold. And
I'm trying to find this Buffalo game. I can't even find it. I'm in 2021 right now. I can't even find this Buffalo team.
NFL Network said it yesterday. That's probably fake then. They're known for having a couple.
Dude, I don't see a Buffalo game on here.
Honestly, it might be real. I have not seen that stat anywhere. But
he did play. He played Buffalo on October 22nd. That game may not be below 40.
Yeah, it probably was like 41. They like cherry picked that shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I can't even find weather. I think I do. No, I don't. Okay, I'm not going to look too far into it, but it is a cool stat.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Well, yeah, we will take it. Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Well, first of all, we'll do a first touchdown score, but I need you guys to let me know. Chris Boswell's 1.5 field goals minus 180. Okay. Bet365 is dropping a Steelers over 1.5 field goals minus 120. Am I not going to take that? But if I take it and it's just snowing and they don't even kick, I'm looking an idiot. But
I hope that's the case.
That's insane value.
You know me, I don't touch kicking props. I refuse to bet on a kicker when it's 4th and 1 and the coach decides to go for it. So
there's nothing worse than that. This guy said,
take
it, he gets 3+ Sunday. Josh Patterson, you're either a guy I love or a guy I'm going to hate after the show. I just want you to know that.
Yeah. And you got first and last name, so we're going to remember Josh Patterson next week.
Oh, here we go. It was 43. 43. That's close enough.
No.
That's close enough. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. First touchdown. We've been cold. I'm just going to call out there.
Cold.
Just like this weather, it's going to be cold. But, it's the first time we're playing in this cold as well. It's time for us to heat up. The size of our hands don't matter in this exercise, like the guy said. So I'll go first, and I'm taking that chalk. I'm like a dead body at a murder scene. There's just chalk around it. All right, we're going Najee Harris all day long. Absolutely. I don't trust anybody else.
I was gonna do the same thing. At plus 450, I feel like that's like the safest. If I had to tackle the other side, I guess I'm going Nick Chubb plus 550. I think if you're taking anything other than the running backs, you're probably getting bad value. Honestly, it just feels extremely right. So. Not the sharpest analysis here, gentlemen, but
no.
Nick Chubb and Najee Harris are probably the most two likely at plus 450, plus 550. I feel like if you put half a unit on each of those, you're probably more likely to win than dabbling with like a plus 1,000 Jalen Warren or a plus 1,300 Njoku or Tillman,
Dude, the Browns receivers is too tough. I think, who's going to get it? I don't even know. It's just – I hate the Browns team right now. I wanted to make a funny thing with Nick Chubb's last name, but I just couldn't think of it for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I was just gonna say, never mind. I'm gonna say something. Everyone's gonna say pause in the chat, so we're not even gonna go there. But
smart.
I'm just a chill guy. I'm just a chill guy. Listen, that's it, guys. Though, any other questions before we get out of here? It's an ugly game, so we're gonna watch an ugly game. It's something we're not used to. We do have Thanksgiving games next week, so we're gonna have to figure out our schedule for that. If we do an episode,
you see who plays on Thanksgiving, or do you see the matchup we get on Thanksgiving?
Tommy Cutlets,
Cooper Rush. Enjoy your turkey. Hope your guys' Thanksgiving's great.
Yeah, that's
insane.
That's pretty bad.
That might be the worst game I think I can in recent era remember.
I'm actually looking at it right now.
That's crazy. There was some David Blau Detroit Lions games where he had to start in a pinch. I remember one thing.
And there's a Black Friday game, and it's Chiefs Raiders. You might as well just go out to the store. What are they doing? They tried to keep you in here. That's crazy. That is brutal. This guy said, "Are you posting your Thursday Night Football?" I'm assuming he means your correlation thing.
Yeah, the correlation stack. I'm working on that currently. I'm struggling to find it as we speak just because The weather obviously has some concern. I'm not sure if I want to put a couple units on it yet or not, but stay tuned for that. I'm still looking.
Oh, my alarm went off. There's
That's
my
your-
alarm to
That's your
get
alarm.
out of here.
That's awful.
Yeah.
You wake up to that? That
It's
would have
terrible.
me. Oh my!
I'm not gonna lie. My dog wakes me up first, and then I'll hear it like while I'm making my coffee.
That's so aggressive.
It's terrible. What do you have? What do you have? Like
The
lip
base-
gloss
No,
popping?
it's
No?
the basic iPhone one. It's terrible.
This guy said gotta watch ass versus ass with ham on my plate. That's too much meat you're talking about there, brother. We're getting a little close.
Ham or turkey guy, Chucks?
What?
Ham or turkey?
Ham.
Ham. Same.
If you enjoy dry turkey, you might be a psychopath.
Turkey on Thanksgiving is ass. If we're being
It's
honest,
terrible.
It's so
You're
bad.
just sitting there next to your uncle that you can't stand, just with
That,
his
there's
mouth.
there is nothing worse than showing up to Thanksgiving and you got dry ass turkey on the platter.
Yeah.
You're like, this shit.
You want to know what the top tier Thanksgiving food is? And you probably don't even know what this is. You may. Green bean casserole is.
No, come on, don't disrespect me like that.
Green bean casserole is top tier Thanksgiving deep fried turkey. Listen, Josh.
Jesus, Josh.
Josh, you should have quit while you were ahead. All right. We're not turkey guys here.
I eat my calories for the week right there.
Green bean for the win. All right, Tom's catch up. I mean, mashed potatoes are always there.
You got to do the cheesy potatoes.
What'd you say?
Cheesy potatoes.
Oh, okay. I could dig it.
Little sour cream, little cheesy potato. You're telling me those don't hit?
I could dig it. All right, we're getting carried away. We'll think of our Thursday schedule. We'll probably do it the day before Thanksgiving and figure out what we like. Do a show for you guys. But thanks for tuning in. Let's watch this horrible game together and cash some money. Best of luck on your bets. Till next time. Peace.